Right, welcome to today's meeting of the Premises and Personal Licences Subcommittee on the 18th of August 2025. Um, I don't know how I'm sitting in this chair, but never mind. I believe that the first thing should be the election of the chairman. Thank you, councillors. Okay, shall I move seats? Yes, I think I'll sit next to you. Yeah. Oh, okay, I'll stay here then. Thank you, sorry. Okay, right, okay. Um, we'll have the apologies for absence and substitutions, please.
Thank you, Chairman. We've received none.
Thank you. Right, minutes of the last meeting, which can be found on pages 5 to 10 of your papers. Can I? Can we still propose and second, even if the councillors weren't here? Absolutely. Okay. Thank you, Councillor Cousins. Thank you, Councillor Smith. Thank you very much. Right. Any declarations of interest? No? I would just like to declare for the public record that I do hold a personal licence, but that has no bearing on this application. Right, just before we go on any further, I'd just like to um, go around the room for who are here, for those that are watching at home. Um, let me start with we have Councillor Joe Henderson, who is a standby councillor. We have Councillor Adrian Smith, Councillor Andrea Cousins, and I'm Councillor Anne Wiggins. And from the council are Sarah Peen, our litigation lawyer, Katie Coppenall, our Democratic Services Officer, Anna Jenkin, our licensing Technical Officer, Emma King, our Licensing Officer, Keith Simmons, our Assistant Director for Corporate Policy and Support, and Bethany, thank you, Bethany Jones, who is hiding behind her laptop, um, and we have one objector, and we have our applicant, Mr. Pat Lola. Thank you. Right, okay. Let us get on to the report of the Corporate Director Law and Governance for A1 grant of a premises licence for Bathside Convenience Store, 5 Ingester Street, Harwich, Essex, which can be found on pages 11 to 40. And I believe it's Anna who is going to give it. Thank you, Anna.
Thank you, Chair and members. Good morning. We're here today to determine the application for Bathside Convenience Store, 5 Ingester Street, Harwich. Mr. Pat Lola has applied for the grant of a premises licence to allow the sale of alcohol off the premises every day between 6 a.m. and 11 p.m. The premises is to be used as a convenience store. Full application can be found in Appendix A on page 17. The responsible authorities have been consulted with and no representations have been received. 2 representations have been received by members of the public, and these can be found in Appendix B on pages 31 to 41. Both the applicant and one objector are present here today to answer any questions. Members are therefore asked to determine this application in its own right and on its own merit, and any relevant information that has been submitted as part of this report and at the hearing itself. This concludes my report. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Councillors, is there anything you want to ask Anna before we ask the applicant if he wants to say anything? No? Okay. Right, now I'd like to ask the applicant, Mr. Pat Lola. Is there anything you would like to say to the councillors in support of your application?
Yep. Along with the So many people, they give their feedback about the opening the shop and their timings, what timings they want the shop to be, how convenient the shop. They recorded and they given the written as well. If you go through this one, for the, if you can see the, what the local people, their opinion about the shop and their timings, opening timings. They give us some feedback. Last 15 days, we open 15 days onwards. So they give the feedback, their objections, whatever. I got some.
Yes.
I can say, unfortunately, under the hearing regulations, you are meant to provide those ahead of the hearing rather than during the hearing. We can only accept them if the objector agrees that we can accept them.
So,
Anywhere near the shop, not directly, not.
We're not. We have to say we're not asking for comment.
No,
you can look at what it's got if you want.
Well, I'm sorry, I didn't quite hear exactly what you said, but
These are submissions in support of your application. Sure, but because the hearing's already started, you're in a position now where the objector has to agree to those being submitted. So you can pass them to the objector and see whether he's agreeable, but we'll have to just sort of pause and let you have a little bit of time just to hear it. I think if provided it's being submitted, if the responsibility is on the applicant in relation to that. But sorry, Chair. I think you can pass them over, or you can keep them to yourself.
and will go, to be frank, is a formality or informality, I don't know. So actually, what you are expecting from my side? I mean, what type of, I mean, why I am supporting, what's the timings you want, that sort. What you are expecting from my side for supporting the document? Do you need any more information or what exactly? You don't understand. Do you understand what I mean?
Can you just turn your microphone off a minute, please? Because we can only have one microphone on at a time. And I just have a word, speak to my colleague here. Okay. I'm just going to ask the objector if he would like to look at the papers that you have, or if he's willing to look at the papers you've got. Okay? Okay. So what I suggest we do then is we have five... hang on. If we have about 5 minutes or so, and we'll stop the recording while the objector looks at your papers, and we'll go after that. So we'll just have a break for 5 minutes, okay? Right, we're back now. I'm afraid I'm going to have to call you Mr. Objector, as I don't know your name. So, Mr. Objector, are you happy to go forward, having that we carry on, having seen what you've seen of Mr. Pat Lola's papers?
What, carry on with what the discussion you made? Or?
Yes.
So yeah, yeah, I'm fine. Yeah, yeah. So I've never been to nothing like this before, so I don't really know what I'm supposed to be doing. So.
Okay. Yes, Mr. Simmons.
Chair, just want to be, I'm unclear, I don't know what the members are, but are you saying you're happy for the written material that the applicant has brought today to be submitted to the committee?
Just make no odds to me, but at the end of the day, that's the majority, apart from one, does not live directly opposite the shop.
Yeah, and you will have the chance to comment on that. It was really just, can we pass those over or not? So I think we've got to the point where they can be passed over. So we'll collect them from you and we'll pass them to the committee chair.
Okay. Mr. Pat Lola, is there anything else you would like to say in support of your application? To turn your microphone. That's it.
Yep. Sorry, my voice is a bit high, which is high. Sorry. I have been in this industry almost 15 years. I'm operating the stores last 12 years on my own. This store as well. Myself and my wife is running. We are planning to live above that shop. So, I got the two teenagers, kids. Being a teenager kids, I know the responsibility, social responsibility of the whom I have to serve, everything. I got the social responsibility. Last 12 years onwards, if you see my record, I don't have any bad on my premises license or anything. And moreover, if you, I put the all 16 cameras around my shop to secure the people, same time as well as who is other people, even everywhere surroundings. And moreover, over the last 15 days onwards, we didn't even have the single issue with anyone. Previously, I used to be in Colchester. I used to have the everyday one issue, but this area is quite calm. The all residents, they are old age people. They are very very happy about the opening the shop. That and moreover, timings are what we specify the timings. For sake is only 11, but usually we close at 9:30. After 9:30, 1 hour we will fill the stock up for next day. We will keep the shop ready. That's it. It's another mean to open until 11 o'clock. We are not going to open until 11 o'clock. Just only for this any festive time. Occasionally we will open, but the regular days we will close at 9:30 only shop because a shop run by myself and my wife. We have to be even I have the personal life. We have to send the kids to school, all those things. So definitely we are not going to open until 11 o'clock.
Thank you, Mr. Patlola.
Yeah.
Councillors, is there anything you'd like to ask?
Yes, hello. The only question I really had was about the accommodation above the shop and whether or not at what point you would perhaps be moving there, because I can understand that to suddenly go from a convenience store to one that sells alcohol for the hours that you're thinking of doing so could look as being fairly unreasonable in a residential area. But if you're there, then you would obviously have more control over what happens in and around the shop at the time, and you would be moving from Colchester, as that is your present address, isn't it? To above accommodation above the shop. Then?
Wants to get ready. That's accommodation. There's a that quite old building. They are renovating. There's a work is going on, so we want to move.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Councillor Smith.
Thank you, Chair. So actually, this is an adjustment to what actually is here. So from what you were just saying, sorry, you don't want, so although your shop is open early till late, you don't actually want a license from 6 a.m. till 11 o'clock?
Interrupt you. Usually we open hours, but be practically. Today I open at 8 o'clock. My wife went to all the way from Colchester to there, open at 8:30. It's not, I mean, it's not fixed. Definitely we are not going to open the 6 o'clock. It's not possible. But for sake, if suppose sometimes I want to open the store to keep the ready, like that, that's the purpose only. But official, I mean, we have planned to open the 7 o'clock to 9:30 max. That's a max. But only the to keep ready. In festive time, sometimes open. That's the word.
Okay, sorry. Can I ask?
Sorry, yeah, no problem.
The applicant speaks to licensing to re-evaluate what the timing is that he would like to have his license run for, because that would then have bearing on our decisions. Otherwise, it's 6 till 11, and he actually doesn't want to have a license between 6 and 11.
We do.
So,
Excuse
Sorry,
me.
this
Excuse
is
me.
not-
Excuse me.
This is for us to discuss.
When
Yes, sir.
you'll get your chance. Honestly. Sorry.
So is there any way that we can have that discussion now to renegotiate the hours and change that to whatever it is that the applicant wishes it to be? Or we could take a legal aspect.
Your application says that you're looking to sell alcohol from 8 o'clock in the morning to 11 o'clock at night, but you're opening the store at 6 o'clock in the morning. Is that correct?
Officially, at the moment, we are opening that 7:30. You know that.
So what you're saying is that you don't really want the hours that you've put down on your application form.
Yep. But officially, to be practical, we are opening at 7 o'clock. By 9:30, we are closing the store. Only the after 9:30 as well. In case if we open, we don't open the operate or the for a store. You stock up the shop inside. We do. That's it. Officially, by 9:30, we will close it. We want to close.
To close the whole store.
Yep.
Okay, hang on a minute.
I think it might be useful for a 10-minute adjournment to have that conversation with the applicant. He's entitled to go for a 6 o'clock start to an 11 o'clock finish as per his application. That's what he's submitted. That's what we've consulted on.
Okay.
If he's wishing to make a change, an alteration to that, to shorten those hours, I don't think it'd be possible to extend them, but he's talking about shortening those hours. Then I think, as has been picked up by the subcommittee, we need clarity about
Yes.
that. So a 10-minute adjournment might be able to secure whether he's going to stick with what he's applied for, or he's now going to stand in front of you, sit in front of you, and say he wants different hours.
Means that the tape will stop, so that we can talk about this, so that we know what you are actually asking for. Okay? Right, thumbs up. Okay, thank you for going out and waiting. And right, we can get back to business. Right, can you just go over what has been, what you are looking for in terms of times for your shop, please?
Shop open timings is 6 a.m. morning to 10 p.m. But the selling of alcohol I start at morning 8 a.m. until 9:30 p.m. Yeah. When is the alcohol is not selling at the time, I will cover up with the or the curtains, the alcohol pot. Yeah, I will make necessary arrangements to cover the shutter or the curtains. That's all. Then the time I will display the timings selling of alcohol on my fridges and as well as my counter. Yeah. And also I will maintain the sales refusal records. Usually we do every time. Even we maintain the firmly all refusal records after 9.
Thank you, Mr. Patlola.
Thank you.
Is there anything you'd like to ask? Councillor Smith first.
Chair, because the application has been amended, can we just check with the objector that he wishes to continue with his objection? I'm guessing the answer, but I just
Yeah.
think it's useful.
Are you, I'm just speaking to the objector, are you still willing to carry on with what's happening at the moment? Yes, you are. Okay, lovely. We just wanted to make sure. Okay, thank you. Councillor Smith.
Thank you, Chair. Hi, I just wonder if we could clarify, you were saying that you were going to cover up with a curtain the alcohol. Is that something that you've done in your previous shop?
We used to refuse the customers. Say that this is the timings, we are not going to sell. That is, the previous shop is not like that. But we used to refuse. If you see my record, I never sell my alcohol. Even last 10, 12 years onwards, I am selling the alcohol and all those things. But we say, okay, I'm not going to sell alcohol, sorry. We used to say, that's it. The customers never even force us to sell the alcohol.
Okay, thank you.
Did you want to ask anything further? No. You can ask. Do that afterwards. Okay. Right, thank you. Right, Mr. Objector, is there anything you'd like to say, please?
Well, there's a few things I wasn't aware of, to be honest. It seems to, I wasn't aware that, sorry, what's your name? Sorry. It was a plan to live above the shop. I thought it was just like, because the whole building, like, I know the guy used to own it. He's obviously sold the whole lot. He just told me he sold the whole building. So I presume that this has been, this gentleman was the buyer of the property. Not that he was. He's just told me that he's leasing the shop. Not so. He's the house and the behind him has nothing to do with him. But because I heard that they're planning to make the house. It's quite a large building behind it. Was going to be made into 2 flats. So I presumed that was all part of this gentleman's, plans, not that he was just a shop, and that was it. So that's obviously a separate thing altogether, but which I wasn't aware of. So, but yeah, obviously, you know, these reduce the hours. That's, you know, I think that's sort of fair enough. But I think, to be honest, I think up past 9 is late enough to be open when you're right in a residential area, right on top of other, you know, virtually right on top of other houses, you know. Well, so the other concerns has been like, because over the, I mean, I've lived on Barside since I bought my house in '87. I've been there since I moved in there in '89. So I've seen a lot of changes come and go in that over the. I mean, that road when I first moved there, it used to be it was a cul-de-sac. It wasn't even opened onto the A120. But over the years, like things have, there's the parking issues. Have just got like hope. There's so many people trying to park in the area now. We've got people who don't even live in the road who try to park in the road, and because no one can park on that side, on the shop side of the road, because there's only, if you parked on that side of the road as well, there would be no, you wouldn't be able to get through. So everybody tries to park on our side of the road. So any additional cars that come into the area is now making, I mean, the girl next door to me said every time she comes home from work, she can't park anymore. She has to park in another street because his car is outside her house. So, I mean, she's the sort of last one home. She comes home at, she said, about 6:15. And so sometimes she's not always there. She stays, because she has to look after, she often stays in Colchester because her parents live in Colchester, and she looks after younger brother sometimes, and she works in Colchester, so she stays there. But she said to me, she was home, like, she, every night I come home, I go to park, I have to park. I don't think she's like, because the only place you can normally find a parking space, if ever, is right up the back near the kids' playground, round the back of in Talbot Street. No one likes parking there because people have had their cars vandalised round there. I mean, my neighbour, the other neighbour, he had all his tyres slashed. We had a disagreement over, because if you park somewhere else, all you're doing is taking someone else's parking space, you know, and then that's causing another flipping, you know. So it's just like become like, it's just. I mean, I feel like I can't. I feel like I've got to rush home every afternoon to get the car parked, as I think, oh, when I get home, I'm not going to park my car. Every evening, I mean, I've been going backwards and forwards every day because I've been, since my mum passed away, I've been working on the house, and I'm cycling it every day.
Yeah, I mean, I'm very sorry, but you know, unfortunately, that's not anything to do with this application. Unfortunately, because we're just here to talk about a license. I do appreciate what you're saying, but unfortunately, that doesn't come into it. Is there anything else you wanted to say? Yes, Councillor Smith.
Sorry, we all feel how you do about parking, and parking issues are a problem. But as the chair said, it's not something that this committee can take into account. So, and obviously the applicant will also have the same parking issues as the rest of you, and he lives there, so he would also, it would be in his interest.
Plan to move there. I used travelling back and forth from Colchester, I understand.
Okay, sorry. We're trying to deal with this, if you don't mind. So the parking we can't deal with. The flats that may or may not happen would have to go to planning, so that's not a consideration. And the other issue that you raised was the hours that the shop was selling alcohol, which has now been reduced. So I think from our perspective, I just wondered, you know, is that something, considering we can't deal with the parking and we reduce the hours, is that something you still object to?
Yeah, you know, the open hours. Yeah, I'm happy about the open hours
of alcohol.
Well, I prefer if the shop closed at 9:30, but at the end of the day, if he's not selling alcohol after, you know, but
okay, thank you.
It doesn't stop people coming around trying, does it? When they've had a few drinks tanked up on a Saturday night, you know.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, so the more you get graduate, I'm seeing faces I've never seen around here in our road, you know, over the last month or so. There's a lot more coming and going. I mean, we have had a problem in that area of antisocial behaviour over the years. It's not been good. You know, I mean, it was only there was a serious incident in the road only a few months ago because the police were coming around knocking on everybody's doors, looking for you know, to see if there's any been footage. Someone was attacked or something up the end of the road. And
Yeah, I think we're digressing, unfortunately. I think, unless you've got any other questions to ask. I think we'll go out as the councillors haven't got anything more to ask. I think everybody's had a fair hearing. We'll go out and, Mr. Simmons.
Just for confirmation, hopefully, can I just confirm that your residual element of your objection is that if the application was on the basis of closing hours of 9:30, that would deal with your concerns about late night sales of alcohol? That is what you're saying to the committee? Okay, thanks. So that's the representation from the objector.
Okay, so we'll go out and deliberate and we will be back when we're back. So, okay, thank you very much. Okay. Thank you so much for waiting. I'm sorry it's taken us rather longer than we'd anticipated, but we are here now. Right. Right. What? Right, okay. The subcommittee has given careful consideration to this application. The premises is Bathside Convenience Store located at 5 Ingester Street, Harwich, CO12 3JA. In reaching its decision, we have taken into account the views expressed by the applicant, Mr. Pat Lola, and the objector. The Council has considered statutory guidance and the Licensing Authority's policy. It has also considered the licensing objectives, namely the prevention of crime and disorder, public safety, the prevention of public nuisance, and the protection of children from harm. Alongside the application, the committee considered the additional evidence adduced at the hearing by the applicant. The opening hours are 6 a.m. to 10 p.m. The decision of the subcommittee is to grant the licence for the sale of alcohol for the hours of 8 a.m. to 9:30 p.m, subject to 1. Lockable shutters being installed over the alcohol display station and lockable fridges containing alcohol. The lockable shutters shall be of a type approved by the licensing authority and shall be of a rigid construction to prevent and deter unauthorised access. And 2. The grant is subject to actioning the undertakings given in the applicant's operating schedule and other mandatory conditions. Outside of the alcohol licensed hours, no alcohol should be visible in the retail area of the premises and shall be locked behind the shutters referred to. The licensing department will visit the premises to ensure compliance before the sale of alcohol can begin. There has been no advice from the legal department in arriving at our decision. And that's what we have decided. I think that's it, isn't it? Yes. Thank you. And I've just been reminded that you will get notification of this. I believe it's a week? 5 days. 5 days. Will be in 5 days. You'll get notification of what we have just said here. Okay. Okay, then it's the only thing for me to say is thank you everyone for this morning, and the date of the next meeting is still to be decided. Thank you very much.